Hello all, welcome back again to Invesfinc. On Monday, all the major indices opened gap down, but the sellers could not drag it further and Nifty closed just below 25,000 levels. So in today's video, let's unlock the key support and resistance zones for Nifty, Sensex, Banknifty and FINNIFTY indices. We will also dive into the stocks that made headlines on Monday, so stick with us to the very end for our exclusive analysis on whether their momentum can continue and how you might approach them in Tuesday's trade. Before we jump onto the details, please go through the disclaimer. Now let's begin with the analysis on indices. First up, Nifty 50. So Nifty has created a doji kind of pattern where the sellers initially, after the gap down opening, tried to push it further down, but they were unable to. And from the lows of around 24,824 levels, there was a significant buying that came in, and ultimately Nifty closed at 24,971 levels with 140 points down. So there has been a good recovery at the lower levels. So if we look just a day before, there was a positive green big candle which suggested that market or Nifty is headed to move on the longer side from these levels. But because of the uncertain news that came in of Israel and Iran war, that gave a gap down to the Nifty. Despite the negative news, there has been good buying that was carried out by the operators at the lower level or the investors for that matter. So this suggests that the negative news have been easily absorbed by the market participants, and they are majorly expected Nifty to go ahead beyond maybe 24,000 levels. So in the coming days, we will not be surprised that despite this negative news, we might in fact close in this monthly or weekly expiry above 25,100 or 200 levels. So we are just maybe 230 points away to those levels, and we are left with still three daily expiries for the monthly expiry to happen. So looking at the overall trajectory how it has been for last 5-6 trading sessions, we are on the heading towards the higher range beyond 25,000 levels. So today's trade is going to be quite crucial, and on the closing perspective, if we see closing above the highs of 25,057 levels, then it is better to cut down on all the short positions what has been taken and take long positions for Nifty or maybe overall Indian markets. Now moving on to the open interest. So open interest suggests at the lower levels there have been buying interest that has been seen, and this buying interest is continued even until 25,350, 500 odd levels. So what it suggests is at every higher level once we approach, there is going to be buying interest and support coming in from the put writers. So as of now, we are just at the area of 25,000 levels. Once we start approaching or maybe closing above those levels, we will see good open interest positions getting built from the put writers beyond 25,000 level strikes. So that would act as again a strong support for the further next leg of up move. Now from the PCR front, it is one which is overall good, and at the money is trading as 0.86, which is again positive. Moving on to Sensex. Sensex in fact also gave a similar kind of pattern on yesterday's trade. However, compared to Nifty, it has not been showing that strong. So overall, Sensex closed 511 points lower compared to the previous day's closing basis and dropped 0.62% overall. So now if we look at the overall pattern, so course, the previous day there was a big green candle, and then because of the negative news or uncertain news, we opened gap down and then recovered from there on. So for Sensex to close on a positive note, first we have to close above 82,170 levels, or at least start trading above those levels, which will give confidence to the buyers, and sellers would definitely get panic, and they would start closing down their positions. If that starts happening, then we would see a swift bounce back again coming in the Sensex, and that would lead Sensex towards 81,000 82,500 levels, maybe in either today's closing basis or in the coming days. So overall, today being the expiry for Sensex, please expect there would be good volatility that would be seen, and then because it is a expiry trade, we can surely expect whatever points down we were in yesterday's trade, all that could be recovered in Sensex, and we would see it trading around 82,500 levels in today or tomorrow's trading session. From the open interest perspective, we see major action that had happened at 82,000 levels from the call writers. So as you could see, despite we closing just maybe tad below 82,000 levels, we still have seen good open interest additions that had happened on the put side. On the call side, the sellers have been quite aggressive, and they have shorted at every 100 points, beyond 82,000 levels. So as you could see, a lot of call writing that has been done. So looking at the open interest, it seems that we will have a strong resistance and a push once Sensex starts approaching 82,000 levels. However, on the chart, it suggests that there is still a positive trade that is expected to come in. Now we have to see how the behavior of the call writers would be immediately, in case if we open gap up or maybe start trading on a positive note on Sensex. So if 82,000 is crossed, we will not have any resistance until 82,500. So brace for it to move towards 82,500 on closing basis in today's trade. So PCR again is positive 1.1 overall, and at the money PCR is 9.93, which is again positive. Now moving on to Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty again had shown a good strength in today's trade. So despite a big downfall, it went until 55,770 levels in the overall trade, and then recovered significantly from there, and ultimately closed above 56,000 levels, which always has been strong support for Bank Nifty. So as long as the trade is concerned, we have to cross above 56,500 levels for Bank Nifty to sustain and show that positive momentum. So today, in fact, we were headed towards 56,500 levels in yesterday's trading session, but we could not cross those levels. So we went to the high of 56,233 levels, and then we saw around 150 to 200 points shave off from there. So now it has closed on a positive note. That is something good, with good buying interest at the lower levels. So if in today's trading session we open slightly flat to gap up, then this might lead to move towards 56,500 levels in today's trade, which is going to be a positive for Bank Nifty, and from there on moving or jumping towards 57,000 levels would not be difficult for Bank Nifty. And in this monthly expiry, we anticipate that we would close towards 57,000 levels or beyond 57,000 levels. Let's see, we have 3 days of trading session left. So on the lower side, we have a stiff support at 55,200 to 300 levels. Moving on to open interest. So open interest suggests good action on the 56,000 strike. So we have unwinding both from call writers as well as put writers. So now at the higher levels, 57,000 levels, we see call writing that had happened. So which suggests that it is difficult for Bank Nifty to head or move towards these zones. But then if we see on the put writing side, we have been seeing unwinding at 55,500 and 55,000 levels. So now surely this unwinding would have added somewhere closer to 56,000 levels. So we see some addition at 55,900 levels. So overall, not a lot of changes that has happened in the open interest positions, but we have to closely monitor and see how the behavior would be of the call writers once Bank Nifty starts moving beyond 56,000 levels. Somewhere 56,200 to 300 once it start trading, how the call writers would behave. If there is no selling off coming in on the higher side, we are headed towards 56,500 in today's trade. So PCR overall stands at 0.9, which is positive. At the money, PCR is 0.78, which is not that significant. Lastly, on the FINNIFTY. So FINNIFTY also opened gap down and moved towards the low of 26,400, and from there we saw a significant recovery. It gave a high of 26,622 levels, which we have been waiting for FINNIFTY to close beyond 26,600 levels. But in yesterday's trade again, that did not happen. However, it still closed on a positive note with 26,550 levels. So overall, just there was a drop of 0.35% compared to all the major indices. Bank Nifty and FINNIFTY had closed, with small losses, and that is something positive to note. So overall, as we had discussed, 26,600 primarily has to be crossed for us to remain positive on FINNIFTY. And in today's trading session, if you see we crossing that, cut off your short positions and go long, because there could be a significant surprise move that would head towards 27,000 levels or beyond just in these 3 trading sessions to come. So overall, we remain positive on all the major indices, and the expectation is that we would see a swift jump happening immediately once we cross the resistance levels on all the indices. Now let's see from the perspective of open interest. So open interest seems to be quite weird. We see a lot of unwinding on the call writing at 26,700 and 800 levels, and also at 27,300. But there has been put writing that had happened at 26,500, which as per our analysis is positive. And since on the higher side, as we discussed, that if we start closing above 26,600 levels, there is very clear indication that we would move towards 27,000 levels, and there is only one resistance that we could see at 27,000 strike. So overall, on FINNIFTY in today's trade, you would very clearly see that as long as we start trading above 26,600, there are no further resistances until 27,000 levels to approach. So brace for the long positions to carry and continue on FINNIFTY. So on PCR it is zero point 0.9 overall, and at the money is 0.81, which is positive. Now let's move on to the next segment, that is what is the action from the market participants. So FIIs have added short positions in the index futures, and they have been carrying 1.03 lakh short positions in the index futures. Now on index options, FIIs have further added their short positions in yesterday's trade, and their overall position is 37,000 contracts short on index options. Proprietary traders, on the other hand, mildly have been holding long positions in index futures, which is not at all significant. On index options, they have cut short their long positions in yesterday's trade, but still have been holding 1.77 lakh contracts on longs. So that is positive. Client or retailers, on the other hand, on index futures have been continuing their long positions with 68,000 contracts. On index options, they have cut short their short positions, and now they have been holding still the short positions with 1.16 lakh contracts. So overall, in yesterday's trade, whatever buying that had happened at the lower levels had been benefited to the proprietary traders. And then looking at that, the overall other participants like clients have cut short their positions, or retailers, and then FIIs have shorted further, but that is not that significant in terms of position. So in today's trade, we have to see if we are closing or moving towards that positive trajectory, then go ahead with the long positions, because we might see a big jump expected to come in on all the major indices in either today's or tomorrow's trading session. Now let's move towards our last segment, the trending stocks. So first up is Poonawalla Fincorp. So this stock had witnessed a significant rally in Monday's trading session, and it gave a positive close of 22 points with 5.46% jump. So the key catalyst behind this upward move primarily was the board's decision to approve the raising of 1600 crore through the issuance of non-convertible debentures. So this move is perceived by the market participants as a strategic step to secure growth capital, which can be deployed to expand its loan book and strengthen its financial position. So this is a positive news, and the infusion of the funds is expected to also support the company's ongoing efforts to scale up its operations and enhance its market share overall in this competitive NBFC space. So given this positive addition of 1600 crore coming in the books of the Poonawalla Fincorp company, it is expected that that would boost its overall balance sheet and would make it more competitive. So now the stock had been on a resistance zone at these levels around 410 levels, and if you see, it had multiple times touched those levels and then was not able to sustain. So on the longer time frame, if we see, somewhere in the month of August, September it had touched, and then again in the month of October it had touched, and then from there was a significant downfall. It recovered, and again there was a downfall, took a support at the lowest levels around 280, and then sharply recovered from there, moved or touched 410 levels. Then there was a sell off that came again, significantly crossed at this zone, but there was a resistance here, and then from these levels again it touched to those resistance levels, which acted as support. And in yesterday's trading session, we saw a significant up move of 5.1%. 46%. Now this can be considered as a strong support area for us going forward, and then this would be the resistance zone. So in today's trading session, if we see we crossing above 440 levels, then again we can go long for the next leg of up move, which could head towards 480 levels in the coming days. Now let's see other stock. So Astral is another stock where we saw a trending movement coming in. So overall, the stock had underperformed with 59 to 60 points of downfall, and closed 3.84% down. So as far as the stocks perspective, there has not been any negative sentiment from the company's end or any adverse news. However, this downfall seems to be a widespread negativity that we had seen yesterday in the overall, all the indices. So that sentiment led to the downfall or sell-off that came in the Astral stock. So the investors appear to be reducing their exposure to majority of the equities across the board in response to the global uncertainty what we had seen. So in the Astral stock also we saw a significant sell-off that came in. So we have to see if this sell-off continues. So there is an ascending channel what we had drawn. So each time once the stock appeared towards this channel, there have been a sell-off that came in. So it did not touch here. Before that itself we saw the sell-off come in. So now in the coming days, if you see it recovers here, then this channel would help us to analyze that okay, this would be a sell-off zone again, and we could be prepared. So now wait for a turnaround to happen in the stock. If the turnaround is happening from whatever levels, the expectations is we should go long, and put a strict stop loss maybe towards these levels around 1500 levels. Suppose the recovery is coming in today's trading session itself and we start trading. In case if we see further downfall is continuing from whatever area it is reversing, so that should act as a support or stop loss for us, and then the overall recovery on the long side can be captured. So that's it from our end. Overall, the market seem to be heading towards the longs. So in today's trading session, at any point in time, if you see we open flat and then moving ahead, or open gap up and then just moving ahead on the long side, then cut short your short positions and go with the direction of longs in all the indices. So if today's analysis brought any value to you, subscribe to us, and then hit that bell icon so that you never miss any episode. You can also join us on Twitter and Telegram channels. Link is given in the description. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.